Welcome back to CheatSheetPros.com, your source for sports betting, player props, and daily fantasy information. In 2022, we're ramping up the YouTube videos, so make sure to hit subscribe down below. And if you'd like to try our cheat sheets, they are free on Thursday in our Facebook group. The link is in the description. Today, we're going to take a look at some NBA player props for Saturday, February 5th, 2022. Hopefully you got to see our NBA plays last night. You can see here the screenshot. We went 6-2, and we also hit a money line winner of plus 290 with Oklahoma. And if you followed our Twitter and saw our plays for today, we're already 1-0, hitting the Auburn first half line. So anyways, that's sports betting, and we're talking about player props. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do, we're going to pull up the NBA cheat sheet. We're going to go down here to the last 7 tab. We're going to sort it high to low by points, rebounds, assists, as always. And then these players that are highlighted up here, these are the ones that we're going to go ahead and take a look at. So I've identified Mikal Bridges, Fournier, Plumlee, Paul, Davis, Dort, Giannis, Kuzma, and a couple other players that show out. So these are the ones I've identified on the sheet. In our prior videos, I kind of show you what I look for and how I go across this, but I'm going to speed past that. And we're going to go ahead and get started and take a look at some plays tonight. So the very top guy on our list that pops up is Mikal Bridges. So he's someone that I want to take a look at. And I'm just going to flip through and kind of see how he's done the last 5 games. So projected points, he's had 24, 27, 26, and 18. He's been over this 14.5 4 games in a row. So we like him going over. One thing I am going to check is his projected minutes here, which we can see he's played 40.1. He's projected for 38, so still projected a lot of minutes. One of my favorite plays is going to be Mikal Bridges over 14.5 points. Now, if you want to, let me flip back here. Now, I like to flip through and see these other categories that they do. So assist, not really anything real good right there. So kind of mix and match, but I want to see if there's anything. So this does jump out. His points, rebounds, assist over 21.5 because he does get some boards. He doesn't get a lot of assist, but we got 36, 39, 35, 25. So he's also been over his PRA number each of the last 4 games. So PRA or points, either one of those, I like those. I'm definitely going to have one of them in there. Rebounds 8, 8, 8, 5, so he's been well over that number as well. So he's a pretty solid player that we can put in our lineups, and they should get a bounce back win tonight coming off of a loss. And then as we can see over here, the second guy is Fournier, so let's go ahead and take a look at him. So they have 3 categories here: PRA, fantasy score, and points. So points, he's got 30, 18, and 25 the last 3 games. Going up against the Lakers, he's been over this in 3 games, so I don't mind that as a play. His PRA number, he's been over it, but he did miss it in the Sacramento game. He's more of a pure scorer, so I do like his PRA number. Fantasy score, kind of the same thing. So we like over 14.5 points for Fournier. Let me write that one down. I didn't have it. So that is also one of the plays that we like. So moving on to the third guy that we've got on this list. Zaire Williams was there, but I didn't really see anything that jumped out. And then we skipped down over some low-minute guys. Oubre, they only had the 3-point shots. Plumlee would be the next guy on our list that we're going to take a look at. So looking at Mason Plumlee, we got a whole lot going on here. So points, 6.5. It's a small number. He's frequently over that. Assist is interesting, so over 2.5, and his lowest the last 5 games is 2. Other than that, he's been double that number or 2.5 times that number, so I don't mind the assist going over. Rebounds looks pretty solid with 11, 17, 10, and 17 over the last 4 games. Now, he is going up against Miami, so one of the things I want to do is look at the opponent rebounds, and the toughest team for giving opponent rebounds is Miami, so this is a tough matchup. So I might shy away from this one or just not get a lot of money invested in this card, do one of the smaller money cards and spread it out because Miami is a tough rebounding team. And then his PRA number, pretty solid, 24, 24, 24, 31. I like that. He's consistently going over it. So if he doesn't get very many rebounds, hopefully he can pick up some points and assists. And this is something he's been over quite a bit. So Plumlee is a guy we want to take a look at. Fantasy score, look at this. I really like it because he's been over in all 5 games. He's averaging, we can see right here, 31.1, fantasy points or prize pick points, however you want to put it, over the last 5 games. So over 25. He's had a couple games right over that number, just barely. So someone to keep in mind when you're building your plays. And then flipping down here, Gafford doesn't have a lot going on. He's not too exciting, but Chris Paul is definitely someone we want to get some action to, especially going up against this Washington team. So I want to take a look at Washington, and let me sort them up here. So they're 12th in rebounds. They are 4th in assists allowed per game. So they're actually pretty decent in that category. And then opponent percentage from 3-pointers, they are 1st. So they've been decent in those, but let's see what Paul's been up to. So we love his points over. That is probably my second favorite play, is going over the 16 points. He's been over it in 5 straight, and 16 is a pretty small number for someone like Chris Paul to get, as much as he's got the ball in his hands. 18, 20, 20, 21, 21 over the last 5 games. So 16 is a pretty good number, and I like that 16 we do get the push. And then we come over here, assists, 12 is a huge number. Washington doesn't give up many assists, but I mean, he's put up 14, 14, and 19 in 3 of the last 4. So that's probably pretty solid, but since Washington doesn't give up a ton of assists, and 12 is a big number, he's got to get to 13, and the 2 games, he's barely been over that. I'm probably going to shy away from assist for tonight. Looking at projected rebounds, over 2, under 2, nothing there real exciting. PRA number, I don't mind putting it all together, though, because he's got 45, 47, 38, 34. But I think our best prop that we end up going with is going to be his projected points over 16. So this is going to be my second favorite play that I put on my card tonight, is Chris Paul over 16 points. And then moving on down the list, we've got not a lot for Burks, Biyombo. Anthony Davis is one that someone brought up in the chat they were looking at, and he just completely crossed my mind. And so flipping over this, I want to see, so his points, he's had 30, 30, 27, and 31 over the last 4 games. So over 27.5 looks pretty solid. He is going up against the Knicks. They don't move the ball very quick, so that does worry me. Looking at his rebounds, I do like over on rebounds. He's been over this number in 3 of the last 4. And he's been well over it with 17 and 15 the last 2 games. And then let's see here, his PRA number, that's a good line. You can see he's kind of right, just barely over it, just barely under it. So that's an advantage for prize picks. Fantasy score of 50, kind of over in 3 of 4. So almost anything you go with here is pretty good. Now this one's interesting. 5 free throws made. So I was trying to look at how often he's going to get fouled. He's probably one of the main guys that's going to get whacked going up, taking a shot. And he's got 6, 10, and 6. So I may play around with some of these free throw props, but right now I don't have any. So my favorite with him would be projected points or rebounds. So points, he's kind of barely been over. Rebounds, I like it because he's been significantly over. Let's go ahead and see what the opponent rebounds is for the New York Knicks. So New York here, we can see they're 14th, so kind of middle of the road. So I don't mind doing a Anthony Davis rebounds over 9.5. That would probably be my 3rd leg of this early parlay that I'm putting together. And then flipping down here, we got 3 more guys I want to take a look at. Dort, or however you say his name, Dort. I really like this guy. Oklahoma City was a big money line winner for us last night. We took them plus the points. I think it was 7.5 or 8.5, and then we took a money line plus 290, I believe it was. And they ended up winning the game outright, so that was kind of nice to get done watching a movie with the family and look up and see money in my sports book. So Dort's one of the ones that's been kind of a standout since Shai's been out. You can see his projected points here, 18.5. He's got 23, 30, 18, and 27 over the last 4. So he has missed this too, but 3 of the last 4 he's been over this number. And I mean, my God, it's Sacramento. They don't play any defense. By all means, I don't know how Oklahoma City's a 6.5 point dog tonight, but Dort should be able to get over 18.5 points. So this is one that I really do like, and that's probably going to be the 4th leg of my prize picks card that I'm putting together. Projected rebounds, I love this. He's been over it in all 5. He's averaging almost 7 per game. 6.8 over the last 5. So the rebounds, that one is, looks pretty golden to me. And then let's look at opponent rebounds for Sacramento. And then we're SSSS, Sacramento. All right, so they're 23rd in opponent rebounds allowed per game. So I'm going to change this over from points and go to 4.5 rebounds. Actually, I'm probably going to do 2 cards. I'm going to do one with the Dort points and one with Dort rebounds because I kind of like that. That's intriguing me. PRA number solid, over and for the last 5, kind of just like everything else. He's been doing pretty well there. Fantasy score, same thing. Don't really want to touch this one. That one's kind of risky. So I'm going to do points and rebounds for Dort. Those are the 2 I like the most. I'm really intrigued by this over 4.5 rebounds, though. I'm kind of liking that. Sacramento's not a very good rebounding team, and I mean, he's got 7, 6, 6, 8, and 7. I mean, he's been over it in 5 straight. That's interesting. I'm actually going to pivot my card over to that. And then let's go ahead and move on. So we have Giannis, however you say his name. My son's 10-year-old basketball team, they love this guy, and they say I pronounce his name wrong, but I don't care. So looking at this, he's going up against Portland. I mean, he's solid. The floor with him is what you're paying for. So 28.5 points. I mean, he's pretty much going to be there. Like 26 is his low, so he's like right there. So it just depends upon if Portland can stay in the game. Assist, I don't really like it. He's been under it in 4 of the last 5. Rebounds, you know, he's kind of up, down, but, you know, not terrible. PRA number slightly over. If you like Giannis, I mean, that's fine. I don't have an issue with it. There's nothing that really jumps out at me. If you need another leg, I don't mind doing points, though, just because the floor, he's like right there. So it's not like you're going to see. Have you ever seen a game where Giannis gets 6 points and he plays 40 minutes? It just doesn't happen. He's always going to be in that 22, 24, 26, and then all of a sudden he's going to hit 30, and then he might go over that, and then, you know, he's not a bad play to put in there for a card, and he's fun to watch. Flipping down, Kuzma is the next guy I want to take a look at. This guy was fire. I was all over him, and then he went on a slump, and I got off of him, and then I jumped back in, and he burned me twice, so I've got kind of a salty taste in my mouth when it comes to Kuzma, but over 19.5 points. He's been over this in the last 3. He is going up against Phoenix tonight, which is a difficult team to play against. Rebounds, kind of up and down. His PRA number, I don't mind at 30.5. That looks probably the most appealing because he's been contributing across the board, and he's been over it in 4 straight games. Fantasy score, kind of the same thing as PRA, been over it. But this is the one that really interests me, is 1.5 projected blocks and steals. So he has 4, 4, and 4 in the last 3 games. And they're going up against tough teams in the Philadelphia 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Memphis Grizzlies. In those 3 games, he combined for 12 blocks and assists. And his number's only over 1.5. So that is very interesting to me. That's something that I'm probably going to take a look at for a play tonight. So those are what's jumping out at me right now on the cheat sheet. So let's go ahead and show you what my 5 are likely going to look at right now. So we've got the Dort, and we're going to go over on his 4.5 rebounds. And then Anthony Davis, oh, not David, but Davis, not to be confused. We're going to go over on his rebounds. Chris Paul, points. We're going to go over 16. Mikal Bridges. We had a couple different ones we could do here. We could do points, which I really like. This is probably my favorite play, 14.5, and he's got 24, 27, and 26. So I'm going to go with that one. We looked at a couple other ones here. PRA isn't a bad number either. You could probably go with either one. Rebounds isn't terrible. You could probably go with that as well. But for now, I'm going to go with the Dort over, Davis over, Chris Paul over, Bridges over. And people like to do cards of 5, so let me go ahead and get a 5th leg in here. And we looked at 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and put the Kuzma 1.5 blocks and steals. So this is what I'm going to put down for one of my 5-leg cards. I love the Dort play. The Davis should be solid. Chris Paul I love. Mikal Bridges is my favorite on the slate, so if you only take one from this video, go with Mikal. Either PRA or points over. 14.5 is a low number. And then Kuzma, this one's interesting. I'm going to ride with this tonight for a little bit of 10-1. So this is what I like so far. Again, you guys utilize this sheet. This sheet is key. I've seen you guys pick out plays that I didn't even see. You guys are really good at it. Also, we pulled in this last DVP for just the last 10 days, so you can kind of see guards, bigs, each position, kind of what they're giving up, where the keys are. And then also, even here on the main tab, if you're not playing DFS, come over here and sort by this boom percentage, high to low. These are going to show you the hottest guys on the planet. And you can see these are 6x games, these games in red. So this is going to bring up the cream of the crop, the guys who are red hot right now. And these guys are good to look at props for. So I'll go back through and then kind of flip through these guys and then compare in the minutes they're projected and find some of these guys, which we can see he was in there, Oubre was in there, Tucker's not up yet, Kuzma was in there. I can't remember if we talked about Plumlee. He's one guy got on there, but Kuzma, Dort's in there. We went over them. Mikal Bridges. So it's got 3 of these guys in here. So this is also a helpful tool to find some plays. So if you guys have anything you like, feel free to post it down below in the comments or post it on the Facebook group where I have this link. Would love to see what you guys have, your cards. And let's go make some money on this Saturday night. Good luck, guys.